How to make this bag with carvings. Let's get started. So you'll have to print up all your patterns. There's a lot of pages. Cut them out. Some of the parts require some taping. Make sure you have a large piece of leather on hand. The hole punch I'm using is 1.5 millimeters. I'm using veg tan leather. This is 5 to 6 ounces thick. So that's one piece done. Time to do the rest. Make sure to keep the pattern for when you start carving. And do the same thing with all your other parts. The hole punch I'm using for the rivet holes is about 2.5 millimeters. Some of the parts will require a thinner leather. This is chrome tan leather. This is only about 4 ounces. There's 2 rows of holes on this. This is for the shoulder straps. You'll see why that is later in the video. I'm going to start on the carvings. Here I'm using a stylist. It's more or less just a ball point, enough to get the pattern onto the leather. With my swivel knife, I'm going over all the lines. Make this pattern pop some more, I'm going to use this ball point, push the back out a little bit, make the trunk of the tree stand out. Here I'm just using a spoon. These are actually clay carving tools. I'd usually use a stamping bevel tool, but these intricate lines are a bit detailed, so it's kind of hard to get some of that detail in there with a big bevel tool. Continue on doing all your other parts the same way, all your other carvings. Here I'm actually using a bevel tool. I like to just take my tool and go around, smooth out any hiccups or bumps. Using a backgrounder, I'm filling in all the background between the knots. At this point you should have all your carvings done. I'm using a size 2 beveler here. Wet all your edges with a wet sponge, and then using a burnishing wheel, burnish all your edges. For the dyeing process, I'm using English brown, and I'm using a sponge to apply it. Going around the edges first, and then applying on thinner and thinner towards the middle. For the edges, I'm using a dark chocolate brown, and then I'm bleeding that with an airbrush. To fill in all the crevices of my carvings, I'm using a medium brown antique finish, working into all the crevices. Of course, you'll see that it does make the leather darker. As long as you apply it evenly, wipe it on, wipe it off, you should have a pretty even coat throughout. For the chrome tan pieces, I decided to dip them in. Looking back at this now, I should have just used a dauber. As you can see, I had holes in my glove. And I'm using Topcoat for the edges. Apply it, and then burnish it off. Time to wet form some strap loops. I got 2 different sizes. I got some larger ones and some smaller ones. Using some Beveling, I'm applying the top coat. Apply it to the whole thing, let it dry for about 10 minutes, and then buff it clean with a dry cloth. Should have a nice shine to it when you're done. Alright, here comes the fun part, starting to rivet and stitch things together. I'm using some small rivets for this. The thinner, more smaller straps are for the smaller bags. Now for the strap loops, make sure to stitch these together. So these are medium size rivets. Take your strap loop, slip it into place. Rivet everything down. All your pieces should look like this when they're done. For the shoulder straps, I'm using a foam strip. It's only a 1/4 inch thick. This is usually used for insulating around doors and stuff, but for this I'm using it for my shoulder straps. Apply some barge cement to both the veg tan leather and the foam pad. Let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, and then apply your foam strip. For the part that goes over the foam, you got 2 sets of holes, and you're going to fold it over. The burning tool I'm using is called the thread zapper. It works pretty good. It's more precise than what a lighter would be. For the carrying handle, you're going to need a 3/8 of an inch rope, and you're going to apply barge cement to both pieces. And then stitch the handle together. Bend it, form it into shape. Using some small rivets. Rivet these 2 in place first. Once those 2 are riveted in place, I'm taking some medium-sized rivets, and then I'm riveting it right to the bag. Here, for this section you're going to have to use some large rivets because you're going through 4 layers of leather. Make sure to use the longer of the 3. And you're putting the chrome tan leather piece underneath the veg tan, just like this. Then you got the front portion of the bag. Just pick a side to start from, and then work your way around. Here you're going to have a strip of zipper handy, and then I'm using barge cement going all the way around on the edges. I decided to use 2 zippers. You can use 1 if you want. For the side bags, just do the same thing that you did for the large bag. Same process. Alright, so find the center hole on both your chrome tan piece and your veg tan piece, and then start working your way around. And just a note, make sure to rivet down your carrying handle to the chrome tan portion first before starting this. Alright, here comes the last step. Putting in your shoulder straps. Alright, so that should be it. Now you have a full, complete leather bag. Look at those fancy carvings.